YouTube Market Monday, we have so much to talk about. Let's just get right into it. Let's not waste any time. Content schedule for this week: pregame access release 3, which was today. That was Devon Witherspoon, Brock Purdy, and Brian Burns, the LTD. This seems to be the last content drop for pregame access. Their theme team also is supposed to go away on Thursday. We'll wait and see if that's true. Preseason standouts release 1. We'll get into the leaks and all the content then. Looks to be a multi-part program. I don't know if it'll be like a part 1 this Thursday, part 2 next Thursday. Probably like a part 1 on Thursday, part 2 the following Monday or Tuesday, like they did pregame access. Head-to-head ranked session 1 in Gauntlet, which is Thursday, Friday. It's just them going to the game, not really actually content going live, although we are getting 2 Gauntlet players. And then Legends Release 1 and Legends Release 1.5. 1.5 might as well be called 2 because we're getting as many cards for part 1.5 as we are for 1. That's just the content on the content schedule. Let's now get into the MUT leaks, and I will scroll really fast so you guys don't see it really quickly. So let's start out, right, first up with the Gauntlet players, Nolan Smith Jr. and Devon Achane. Of course, those go live on Friday. They expect them to be very expensive. Now, we got team builder leaks, but team builders now looks to be dropping next week. And the reason why I say next week guaranteed is the 85 overall champions. I could almost guarantee you they would have to drop on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, because I'm going to assume that Thursday is going to be an overall boost. We've got an overall boost really the week after the official week drop. I think every year for the past 3 years. So fully expecting team builders to drop next week. I'm a bit bummed out we are not getting it this week, so that which would have been good for the overall market and would have given people more budget options at each position. But you can see the cards for She-Rise. We'll go more of it into this next week when that content is dropping, but you can see here the champions there, as well as a few of the 82s, and then the 86s, Brock Bowers and Nick Bosa. Mika Fitzpatrick, this seems to be an MCS card, so we probably won't get that for a few weeks. The first MCS live event, I believe, is in early September. But here is your preseason standouts. Now, I'll go through the players on the screen. Bijan Robinson and Brandon Jones seem to be the LTDs. And then for your champions, we've got Chase Young. Henry, it's like he's like an 82 overall base elite. He's a linebacker for the Texans. I'm not trying to pronounce the last name. And then Deron Bland. There also seems to be a champion, Victor Cruz, as well. If I scroll all the way up, I'll just show the image on your screen really quickly, so it's gonna leak a little bit stuff. Jackson Powers Johnson, although this is probably gonna be a card for like part 1.5 or part 2, and of course 85 overall champion there. There are a few notable lower overall cards that you can see. There's a Dorian Thompson Robinson that's potentially an 82 or 80 overall. I think that's BJ Ojulari. I think I've heard an Irv Smith is dropping, so we'll have to see if any of the lower overall cards make their way. Of course, there will be a theme team for this content, so you'll be able to get +1 speed at probably either 12 or 20 player items. Will be pretty easy to get there. But that, of course, content is dropping on Thursday. Next up, let's talk about Legends. So this is the release 1 on your screen right now. Champions: John Elway, Steve Hutchinson, Jarrell Revis, and Warren Sapp. I'll be honest, it's a bit underwhelming. I mean, other than John Elway, Jarrell Revis, right? A lineman, left guard, Warren Sapp, I don't expect to be too fast. If Warren Sapp's fast, it's a big drop, but I don't think he's going to be too fast. And then Revis and John Elway. The big one, though, and it's pinned, I think, at the top, is Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens will be the part 1 LTD. We'll see what the offers come out, but that'll be a very expensive card. And then we'll talk about, I guess, the mystery pack, which is going to contain this year, right for the first drop, Legend pack, pregame access pack, Strike Elite pack, Blaze pack, Snap Fantasy pack 70+. I mean, a lot of those packs, I have no clue what they are, but expect that to probably at least drop at the earliest next week, because it has the Legends pack in it, so it really can't drop before Legends drops. So be on the lookout for that. If you guys want to check out MUT Leaks, they have all the Legend offers, not price point, but what you're actually going to get. I'm not going to go over those. I really don't care about it too much. Collector Series offer. I think Collector Series is going to replace the AKA promo, and that's going to be our Monday content drop for kind of the first half of the year. We'll see next week if that is the case, or if it's more of a midweek content drop. But now for more Legends. So White Freeney, 85 overall champion. And then your other champions, this will probably be on the Sunday 1.5 drop: Adrian Peterson, Zach Thomas, and Jackie Slater, with the LTD being Troy Polamalu. So overall, if you combine both the legend drops, you kind of get the normal launch legend release. Bunch of pretty good names. I wouldn't say it's really the big name I would say is Terrell Owens. Adrian Peterson hopefully will be the best running back in the game. Maybe that be Devon Achane, but Dwight Freeney also, I'm really excited to have kind of another fast defensive end. We'll see if Zach Thomas has some speed at the linebacker position. But those are all your leaks, and that is your content for the upcoming week. Let's now actually get into MUT because, man, there's a lot to talk about. If you want extended coverage of the market and how I make my coins, subscribe to the Coin Bible exclusively on coinbible.gg. Link in the description. All right, now that we're here, let's address it, right? The Coin Frenzy pack that dropped today. I'll throw the pack up on the screen from a screenshot. This pack dropped when content came out at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time and was supposed to be available for 2 days. That's the timer that EA sent, although it was only available for 1 hour before they pulled it from the store. They also refreshed the 80 plus and 82 plus kind of mini bundle that was 650 training. That got refreshed and you're able to buy another one of those, but they also took that pack out at the same time they took out the Coin Frenzy. Now, are they going to add the Coin Frenzy pack back to the store for the same price? Probably not. If they do add it back, I expect it to be at an elevated price, although it doesn't really make much sense because they're the ones that put the pack in the store. They knew the odds of the pack. They knew what it would do to the market, and it was kind of cool. It would have been cool for 2 days. Yes, the market would have been heavily inflated for those 2 days, but then it would have went back down, so you could have taken advantage of that by playing certain solo challenges to get gold cards. Opening packs would have been better, and, you know, potentially selling off your team would have been the move. But then we also, shortly after that, got a make right for that 650 training offer where it was just wrong and everybody got 82 plus elite players that were sellable. I personally got 4. So we kind of had a snip snap market where the Coin Frenzy came out and it was really good. It was costing around 4,000 to 5,000 coins to open, and I promise you were probably making at least an average of like 7,000 to 8,000 coins back. I'll show a plethora of rolls that I did on stream, and we pulled an 84 and 83. We made a good amount. It wasn't like I made 5-6 million. Like, no, I made probably 500 600k. The real benefit of the Coin Frenzy coming out was it inflated the entire market, and I was able to sell off a bunch of players for an inflated price, most notably the 85 overall early access champions. These cards pretty much instantly went to 300k, every single one of them, the minute that pack came out. And you're actually still kind of seeing the effects of that pack in the game by these cards going for like 260 to 270k. Really, these cards were in the low 200s prior to that pack coming out. And I think if you have them, I wouldn't necessarily say you have to sell them, but if you can get like 265, 270 for them, it's pretty smart because you can build these cards for closer to 200k. It's going to be more around like the 215, 220k mark. So tax-wise, you're not saving that much, but like I said, the benefit when the Coin Frenzy was out for an hour was selling these players. I was able to sell, I believe it was Jerry Jeudy for 285. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get Robert Hunt and Joe Alt off my team for like the 300k mark they were going for, but I did a few Devon Witherspoon sets and was selling him for 350k. So that's really where I benefited. You also saw really the core elite market. A lot of the 84 overall, 85 overall core elites temporarily spiked, went up a bit. A lot of the 82, really the entire low overall elite market spiked because training went up. Because you gotta understand, the reroll itself was profitable, probably up to 200 per. Training at the time when the roll dropped was going for 109 per at the mid amount. For the most part, across like these elite overalls, especially the 83 overalls and 81 overalls, training was going for about like 115, 120. That was 83 overalls around 55k, 82 overalls 40k, 81 overalls like 23, 24k, and we saw 82 overalls instantly go up to 70k. 83 overalls, the non-coin quick sells were going for like 100 to 115k. 80 overalls didn't move like that much because they were already not good training, so they only went for like 22k to like 27k. 81 overalls went up to 30k, which was good. But again, like I said, I took advantage of that on stream for the most part, and I was able to sell off a lot of, mainly I took the 82 overalls, I built Devon Witherspoon, sold him, and then I was able to sell off a lot of 83 overalls that I had in my binder that I pulled from, you know, different packs that we did during the Coin Frenzy. that's where really a lot of people made a good amount. But now, of course, after the make rights have come out, now it's not as apparent right now because it's been a few hours and people have been starting to buy up the cards, but the market now is kind of back down at that normal price for the 82, 83 overall market. 84, 85 overall market is still pretty cheap, at least at the core. Really, the only cards that are still expensive are the champions. So if you want to buy, I know we mentioned in the last video that I said, like, hey, hold off on buying anything until Team Builders. Well, Team Builders isn't dropping now until next week, so I feel a bit more comfortable paying these prices for 82, 83 overalls, especially right now because we have no new content dropping on Tuesday and on Wednesday. The next content drop we have is Thursday, so you can buy these cards right now, which are being supplied from that make right in the store. And, you know, worst case scenario, you could always sell these cards back Wednesday evening if you're worried about them, probably for an elevated price. You also have to add in, if they do add back the coin frenzy, whether it's as good as it was, it just being in the store is going to induce panic, and it's going to induce training demand because people are going to want to open it, and you will undoubtedly see the market rise again. Maybe not to the amount it was when it first came out, but it will definitely rise back. So you'll see these 82, 83 overall cards rise because training's going up. So it's really not a bad time in my eyes to pick up some of these 82, 83 overalls. Let me see how much. Jameer Gibbs has rebounded a little bit. He was going for like 150 earlier. Now he's 180. But I mean, shit, prior to the day, he was going for like 215, 220. So you're still getting a bit of a discount. Like I said, with Team Builders dropping next week, I feel a bit more comfortable paying. I still wouldn't really buy any 85 and 84 overall core leads because they're just ridiculously expensive. They're still overpriced. I'll show them briefly here. These cards are still just, I mean, corners dropped today because of DeJuan Witherspoon, but like even Tyreek Hill. Now Tyreek Hill rebounded from earlier, but he's like 600. Josh Allen 700. I think for this, just wait until Thursday when standouts come out. Wait until legends drop over the weekend, and you can probably be able to get those for like at the most expensive point, like 350. So I still wouldn't touch 84, 85 overall core elites. If you want the champions for pregame access, maybe wait a day or two. They come back down to 200k. But picking up 82, 83 overall cards for your team right now, not the worst thing. All right, but that yap sesh is over. How to make coins on the game right now. Now, I can't give out all of my secrets. Now, you also will notice pre-order points. Finally, pre-order rewards came for those that kind of never got them. Hopefully, if you're still missing them, I don't know. You're probably cooked. But most people that were missing theirs got theirs today, and I'm actually saving. I bought the Season 1 Premium Pass, and then I bought the Step 1 and Step 2 offers for the weekly step-up thing, and then I'm saving for it. I'm not going to spend... I know, I'm stingy. I don't want to give EA any money. I will be waiting until this offer refreshes on Thursday and rebuying the Part 1 and Part 2 step offers for the weekly Platinum Packs. But seriously, I'm going to mention it again. We talked about this in my video on Saturday, I believe, when I uploaded. This is just the most consistent way to make coins. And again, if they ever add that coin frenzy back to the game, this is an even better method because golds were being bought for trading. So you can either take the golds you get from these packs, sell them, or roll in the coin frenzy pack. But I'm telling you, man, this CPU event, it is just the point blank simplest way to make coins, and it takes really no skill at all. You don't need to win online head events and sweat. You don't need to be a market nerd and snipe cards. No, you just have to sit down, farm the CPU for 45 minutes to an hour, and collect your 40 to 50k at minimum every single time. I seriously think the best minute per minute method for the average player is sitting down and doing this for however long you can. It's boring, yes, but it also goes away in 2 days and 14 hours. So you kind of want to take, who knows with the EA, dude? We've already seen them take away like the ability to just call any play. There's now a play cooldown on offense for this event. I wouldn't be shocked knowing EA that we don't get a really good CPU event like this for the standouts program. So take advantage of while this is still in the game for 2 days and 14 hours, because who knows what EA is going to do after that. Please make sure you guys are doing that event if you want to make some simple coins. As for other market stuff, and we kind of just talked about when to buy, when to sell cards, making coins in the market, I will say it's probably the hardest, just like buying and selling players at the launch of a game. And that's just because there's been so many swings up and down for demand and supply, but also just the 82, 80, the 84, 85s aren't really supplied, and the 82, 83s are like oversupplied, so it makes it hard to sell cards for like an insane amount. I will say, if you want the LTDs, now the problem is they've already kind of gone up a little bit, but if you want the LTDs for the pregame access content, I would go out and buy them today. For the most part, these cards are going to be the best at their position. Yeah, Puka Nacua is back up to 600k. He was like low 500s today, so missed the window, the prime window to pick up these cards, but especially with MCS ladders this weekend, a lot of the overall best cards at every single position are going to see a baby spike Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday morning. So cards like Puka Nacua, Marshawn Lattimore, really Puka Nacua and Baker Mayfield, I think are going to be the two that spike the most. Marshawn Lattimore, unfortunately, only has 85 speed, but Baker Mayfield, Puka Nacua, if you want them for your team, I would recommend you buy them now. I don't know if there's too much potential to make coins off them because they would have to go up 200, 300k really for you to make a profit that's worthwhile. But if you want these cards for your team, I would recommend you buy them today. And I guess if you do want to prep for if they bring the Coin Frenzy pack back into the store, what you can do is buy training at the gold level. I'm not sure if it's back down to being min price, but I would assume it is. And I'll give you some numbers for that. It's like 1.2k for 75 overalls. For 76 overalls, it's around the 2,000 coin mark. 77 overalls, it's around the 3,000 coin mark. And those are really the prices I was paying for gold cards. What you really want to do on that is just filter in the catalog and just scroll down, find a... This is seriously how we were buying training at the cheapest level for the Coin Frenzy. But you just scroll down, pick really a 77 overall card. That's probably your best bet. Maybe not Tyler Warren, but pick a player like, let's go Omarion Hampton, rookie. See if he has good speed. Not really the best speed, so hopefully he's cheap. Yep, there's some cards that are popping up now for... This is the exact min price of 3,063. And hey, if they bring back that Coin Frenzy and are able to buy training at min, you know, there is potential for you to make some coins. But who knows if EA is going to bring back that Coin Frenzy pack. But it's definitely something you could do. Maybe if you're playing the solo event, you just hold on to the gold players and see if they do drop that pack, because you can either sell or roll them. And, you know, right now probably would be their low at their point. But, boys, I think that's going to do it all for Market Monday. I will 100% probably have a video out later this week going over market stuff. Probably expect that Thursday or Friday. But we'll see when we get to that point. I will see you guys all for that video. And until then, peace.